Welcome to the Fix Your Crown King podcast. My name is Rich Givens, and I'm the creator and host of the Fix Your Crown King podcast. I am a man and a strong advocate for mental health within men. I believe and support the processes of changing the stigma surrounded by mental health in men. This podcast was designed to be a safe haven, a place for men to come and talk about what it is they feel. Men who are confused or unsure about the daily struggles they face in life. Did you know that nearly 1 in 10 men experience some form of depression or anxiety, but less than half seek treatment? Feeling depressed or anxious is not unusual or shameful. Let's not make it shameful. After all, we wear crowns. Fix your crown, King. You deserve it. Welcome back, family, friends, and most of all, kings, to the Fix Your Crown King podcast. I'm your host, Rich Givens. Today we have a great episode in store. I have my brother, my friend, Rob Bandy. Me and Rob Bandy been knowing each other for a half a year now, but it's like instantaneously we became brothers, just like real recognizes real. So if you all will help me bring in my brother, Rob Bandy, with a loud round of applause. Rob, man, welcome to the show. How you doing today, bro?
Man, I am blessed and highly favored, man. I really appreciate you having me on board, man. It's such a privilege, man. Thanks for thinking of me and bringing me in.
Oh, no, thank you, brother, for you being the person you are and bringing the wisdom and the experience you have into my life, man. So I'm honored. It was only right that I brought you here. Hey, so you know what this platform embodies is mental health awareness in men. What we want to do is I want to raise the awareness for men in mental health and let them know that we care. We all care about each other. We want to help each other be better. And I think you're one of the perfect people to do it. So without further ado, man, how about you introduce yourself and let people know who you are, where you hail from, and just some of your credentials.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Again, it's a genuine privilege to be on board here. And as Rich said, I'm Rob Bandy. I'm born and raised Washington D.C. Kind of a snapshot of my background is I went to a University of Maryland University College. I'm a psychology major. Actually, got my degree, my undergrad in social sciences. My emphasis was psychology. I went on to Gonzaga, all the way out in Spokane, Washington, to get my Master of Arts in Organizational Leadership. Currently studying at Columbus State University to get my Doctor of Education in Curriculum and Leadership. I'm an Iraq War veteran. Was a police officer for 11 years. Actually, retired as a police lieutenant a few years ago. And a soldier, 22 years. I'm a father. I have two daughters. We're geographically separated. They live in North Carolina. My mom and the rest of my family are up in D.C. in the D.C. area, in Maryland, D.C., Virginia, and I'm down here in Georgia for work, obviously. For stationed at Fort Moore, formerly Fort Benning. And just, in terms of social and mental health, I'm a huge advocate as well. I take no small degree in being proud to say that I have no issues with calling on help when I need it. If I'm in a situation that, that I can't circumnavigate or I can't get through on my own, I will call for help. Just like I drive my car, the check engine light comes on. And when the check engine light comes on, I'm not qualified, I'm not a mechanic. I will take it to the shop. So if the check engine light in my brain comes on, I will go to a professional to help me get through it. And so, as Rich said, and as just like Rich, I'm a huge advocate for mental health. Knowing your posture, knowing where you are, where you're trying to get to, and seeking help. Really, nobody gets there on their own. So seeking that help and that assistance to get there. And so, man, I'm telling you, it's such a huge, huge benefit, privilege. I am just honored and humbled to be able to, share some of my perspective and thought and just rap with you on, online on this podcast, man. Thanks again, Rich. I really appreciate it, my brother.
Absolutely, man. All thanks to you, brother. Listen, man, it's funny that you say that when the check engine light comes on, you need the help, right? And you're not afraid to call out for help, man. And so like I said earlier, you and I met about 6 months ago, man, 6, 7 months ago, but it feels like 6 or 7 years to be honest, man. Like, and that's rare that you actually meet someone and you have that energy and you both recognize that and we instantaneously become brothers. It's funny you said something about the check engine light because when we met, the day we met, man, ironically, my check engine light came on at airborne school. My actual car check engine light came on, right? And that's funny to me because that's funny to me because when we met, you saw me at the peak of who Rich Givens was trying to be, right? You
Yeah.
saw that. And I was at my greatest and my highest, and I exuded nothing but confidence and excellence, right? But something happened to me while I was at school, and I had to navigate and I had to change the way that I dealt with things, right? And you were there for me, man. Like you were there for me. You spoke life into me. Since recently meeting me, you spoke life into me and you allowed me to understand what it is I was going through and how to deal with it, man. So I thank you for that. For when my check engine light came on, you popped the hood and you found the issue. Or you helped me find the issue. So thank you for that, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. My privilege. And like you said, like sometimes it is, there's a lot of things that are in our awareness, right? That we're conscious of. And there's a lot of things that we're not. It's outside of our normal awareness. And so sometimes you have to get another perspective to realize that, oh man, I wasn't even conscious of this. I didn't even realize this was happening. And it was, again, I was very humbled for you to even trust me in that aspect to be able to, give some of that insight and just kind of help you, take a look at where you were. And I could tell the caliber of man, the caliber of soldier and father that you are. And it was just, I was really humbled, to be like a subordinate rank, and this brother's calling on me to try to give some insight, man. It was a humbling experience, man. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, man. Just to capture that, man. With us, man, that rank thing means nothing, man. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
I don't even acknowledge that unless it's business related. You know what I mean? And even then, I often ignore it because it's like no matter who you are, man, the experiences you bring could be mountains higher than what I may have, and I may need it. We all need each other, man. But speaking on what you spoke
Absolutely.
about earlier, man, it takes us right into our episode. The way you think and how you see things, right? A lot of times we don't know how we think because it's like it's just programmed into us, right? And that's your subconscious. So I want to talk about subconscious, man, and how do we identify the things that hinder us in life, the subconscious thoughts that hinder us in life, or that keep us propelled, you know? How do we identify those things and how do we change the ones that need to be changed? So from your point of view, man, how would you explain subconscious to our listeners?
Well, you gave a simple enough, like sometimes I over explain things and I really, that's one of the reasons why I love just chatting with you sometimes, because you just keep it simple sometimes, right? And like you said, the things that are subconscious are the things that are we aren't readily thinking of, and that really is the subconscious. It has such a massive impact on us, man, because your subconscious is almost entirely, well, there's probably some programming, there's kind of a conversation about nature versus nurture, but I would say your subconscious is almost entirely nurture, because it's the things that we cross paths with. You can hear something in the background, you can meet someone, you can notice things that happen in your life, and your father and your mother, family, you can be at work, and all those things kind of permeate your mind, and then they sit sort of dormant.
Yep,
Again, it's outside of your awareness, and they're dormant, and they produce results. They have you do something that you just did not know you were doing. You did
yep.
not know you were thinking. And that is really the essence of the subconscious. Things that you're doing that you're not even fully aware that you're doing, or thinking that you're not fully aware that you're thinking.
Absolutely, man. A wonderful soliloquy on the definition or your thought, your personal perception of your subconscious. Listen, that takes me into a entirely new point in why we do what we do. Your subconscious shapes your future and it shapes your present, right? Meaning, if you've gone through things in your life and you don't know that the things you've gone through in your life are affecting your daily habits or your daily actions, your subconscious is leading you to continue to hinder your growth, right? That's why healing is so important. That's why understanding your thought process and your journey is so important, right? So that's why we're doing this so that we can understand what it is we go through. I have a saying since I've started this thing is, man, I don't like hearing people say there's something wrong with me because there's nothing wrong with you. We don't have anything wrong with us. It's we have things we need to figure out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's almost
Yep.
like that check
Yep.
engine light. Sometimes the check engine light comes on and it's as simple as changing the fuse, right?
Yep.
As simple as
Absolutely.
tightening the cap, you know? So that's what we need to focus on and to place our energy into trying to figure out what to do when our check engine light comes on and why the check
Yeah,
engine light
man.
is on.
Yeah. So beautifully explained, man. Like some we don't even pay attention to this, but you know that the human brain, like you said, something's wrong with me. I'm glad the human brain, the human subconscious, does not do well with negatives. So
No,
if you say something like, I am not eating any more ice cream, right? Your conscious can differentiate, but your subconscious cannot differentiate.
no.
So the more you say, I'm not eating ice cream, I'm not eating ice cream, I'm not eating ice cream, you're subconsciously going to probably eat ice cream. Subconsciously. And you want ice cream more and more because you keep talking in the negative and you're bringing it up, right? So instead of saying, I'm not going to eat ice cream, I'm not going to eat ice cream, I'm not going to eat ice cream, you could pick something different and say, I will eat more yogurt. I will eat more yogurt. I will eat more yogurt. And then you'll just eat more yogurt and you won't be eating ice cream because you'll be full from yogurt. So our brain really is like, if you keep saying there's something wrong with me, there's something wrong with me, there's something wrong with me. If you're thinking that all the time, you're going to manifest something wrong with you. But if you're actually thinking something along the lines of, man, I got a really good memory, or I'm a really good basketball player,
Yes,
or I'm a really good writer, the more you write, the better you get at it. Your subconscious is producing that good writer, that good basketball player,
yes,
instead of saying something's wrong with me.
yes. And that's a great point because that makes me think of affirmations. You affirming yourself, affirming what it is you want to be, affirming who you want to be. Sometimes, if you think, not sometimes, all the time, if you think it, you will be it. Your identity comes from your actions and the way you think, right? So if you do that, all that thinking and the actions you do, that will permeate into your life, into your daily life, and that's who you become when it comes to your subconscious thinking. So,
Yeah, absolutely. That's why you have to continue to support the conscious mind with positive subconscious thoughts.
yes,
Anything that I watch, I don't if I'm upset or I'm sad about something, I will not listen to sad music. I was just telling my goddaughter this the other day. I was in DC, I guess a couple of or 3 weeks ago, and she was just telling me how, like, she's starting college, first year in college, and she's been really stressed out, and so she listens to this music. I don't remember the artist, but she told me she listens to this music, and I'm like, hey, listen, tell me about the music, right? Instead of asking those closing questions, do you like the music? I asked the open-ended question, tell me about the music. She explains that it's kind of like, it's like sad sometimes and it's a little bit emo, and you would be kind of nervous for me if you listen to me listening to this music. And so I said, what I'm going to do is I am going to send you at least once or twice a week. I'm going to send you something super positive. And I want you and I to reflect on that positive. I don't want you to just respond and say, thanks, God, Daddy. I want us to dialogue about that positive thought. That'll help you reflect a little bit more on the positive. She stopped listening. This was 3 weeks ago. She doesn't even listen to the artist. Well, she's listening to the artist a lot less now. And the very first time she told me, like her first week in college, she was explaining, she was like, I had a great week. I met somebody I went to school with,
yeah,
and my classes are great. And all of that reflection on the positive, I could hear. I wasn't even with her. I could feel the energy, the positive energy emanating from her. And that is a very critical thing for us to do because the mind, our human mind, does not differentiate between the subconscious, does not differentiate between reality and what's fake. We have all police officers have had this dream where we are we are in some type of a scenario where we have to pull our weapon. We try to fire our weapon, it doesn't work, right? For whatever reason, right? Most of the time when we dream, because the subconscious, when we dream, it's in our subconscious. Most of the time when we dream, we don't even know we're dreaming. The subconscious doesn't know. It doesn't say, hey, this is a dream. I mean, sometimes your conscious mind can get involved, but the subconscious is just like, hey, this isn't a dream. This is real. This is really happening.
yeah,
So I need you to wake up and scream. get scared and kick, you do everything. So
Yeah.
that's how powerful the subconscious is. It's going to manifest in our dreams.
Yeah. So let me ask you that because you seem and the way you speak about it, obviously you went to school for it and you've studied this for a while, the science behind it. How do we as listeners or we as students of this, how do we know when it's time to change our subconscious and how should we go about changing that outside of the positive affirmations, like we've been speaking about? How would you advise the listeners to change their subconscious?
So the subconscious is driven almost exclusively by the conscious. Well, I could say exclusively, but I'm not. I'm not a psychologist. I studied it in undergrad, but it is your conscious mind. So that is like saturating yourself with positive thoughts. And
Absolutely.
you don't need to be at a point where you're like, oh, you know what? I'm at this situation right now. Let me saturate myself with positive thoughts. We in the army, we have this thing called, resilience trainers, right?
Yep.
Master resilience trainers.
Oh my
And
God.
they have this one tool. It's called hunt the good stuff. And I love this tool because they say hunt the good stuff. Why do you have to hunt the good stuff? Because of the negativity bias. Hunting the good stuff means you literally have to get armed and go out and look for the good stuff. Because if you have to tell me about your day, oh, I had a rough day, man. It was traffic and I was almost late for work. And when I got to work, I had all of this stuff that was overdue. My inbox was full, and you just flood your spouse or your family member or your loved one or even yourself with all of
Yes.
these negative things, right? You have to literally go out after your workday is over. You can do it any time of day. You can do it at your lunch break and hunt for the good things. Man, I got
Yes.
to work on time. Oh man, it's beautiful weather outside. I'm gonna go for a walk at lunch. I can't wait until lunchtime because my lady and I are gonna go out and do this, or I can't wait till tonight. And me and the kids are gonna go watch a movie. I mean, you are being conscious to say and do good,
Yes.
positive things. It will saturate your subconscious, so
Yes.
you don't have to wait until I'm at a point where I need to, start to think positive. If you're always doing it, if you're always at the end of the
Yes.
day, you have to literally sit down and say, "Hey, what's one good?" I tell my lady this too. Tell me the best thing about your day today. She has a really rough day. Tell me the best thing. What was your favorite thing about your day today? Oh, I got off work. Okay, well, let's talk about that. We don't need to talk about, oh, it was a rough day because this is snap. We could talk about the best part of your day was that I got off work. Okay, let's talk about it. What made it the
Yes.
best part of your day? Because I'm home now. I'm chilling. I get to take off my shoes, and you know what I'm saying?
I
Like
love it.
those things that we consciously do, that's what's going to make me at night. That's going to affect my subconscious because at night I'm thinking about, oh man, I just, I'm telling you, I play basketball in my dreams all the time because I always
Hey,
tell
can
myself,
can you
man,
dunk in your dreams? I still can't dunk in my dreams, man.
absolutely. Oh man, I'm a monster. I'm a monster on the court in my dreams. Total domination.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And so I have these good dreams because my conscious mind is saturating my subconscious with
Yes.
good positive things. So if you
Yes.
just keep it up, if you hunt the good stuff, you can write down one good thing a day. You can text it to somebody, one good thing a day. And you and I, over the past several months, man, I know we've talked and there's been some rough days, and
Yeah.
we always find the time and the way to say something positive,
Yes.
right? And then at the end of that, we both go forward because I feel, just injecting that positive energy. I feel that I said something positive to Rich. He's going forth and he's going to be positive, and now I feel good about having that good positive conversation, and so now I'm having a good day.
Yes.
It's like legitimately a viral thing. Positivity is a viral thing. What was that quote on? I love my movie quotes. It was "I Am Legend," and it's actually a Bob Marley quote, but he said, "The people who are trying to do bad in this world are not taking a day off." Why would I? He went back out on the stage, you know, after he got shot. I mean, that is that is forcing positivity into your
Yes.
life, into the
Yes.
lives of the people who came to the concert. Man,
It's
the great
inspirational.
Bob Marley.
Inspirational. Just like you, man. You are a great inspiration to me. Like we talk when we do talk. We always talk about the people who influence us in our lives, man. And I have a great circle of brothers, and we talk about that right now. the strongest group of brothers I've ever had in my life, man. You all, like you say, inject that positive into me, and ultimately you guys get it back. So the inspiration around you is very important too, man, for your subconscious. Something I was thinking about
Yeah.
as you were speaking was, if we do all of the things you spoke of, the positivity, thinking, hunting the good stuff, and we still don't get the results we look for, the positivity. We don't get the good things in life. How do you deal with it then? Because we all know that no matter how great life, no matter how positive you are, no matter how good of a person you are, life happens to you sometime. How do we deal with that when it comes to subconscious?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think the thing is, we all have to be understanding of how much control we have over anything, and that is
Yes. Thank you.
us,
Thank
right?
you.
I control me, right? If I am in a awesome relationship and all of a sudden she wants to end the relationship, I don't control that. I don't control her. I can control what I can do. We can have the dialogue and it's going to be tough, but at the end of the day, I control me. So now I have to try to keep things positive on my end, right? That's a very difficult thing to do, but I think we also should be conscious of the fact that we have people around us who can help us with that.
Yes.
You know, we have friends. Some people, you may have a pastor, you may have a parent, you may, but you also have the mental health professionals,
Yes.
right? So sometimes, though, and those mental health professionals, again, they're not exactly like mechanics. I keep talking about the check engine light and everything. Mental health professionals are not mechanics in that way. They are more like the diagnostic machine
Yep.
you hook up to the car and they say, okay, here are the indicators that there is something that needs to be fixed, right? And then they will compel you to say, here's what I can do that will help.
Yes.
So they're going to give you exercises and things like that. And again, we have to be willing to say, hey, if I'm sick, I'm going to go to the doctor, right?
Yes.
If I got a really bad cold, I'm gonna go to the doctor. If I just got the sniffles or something like that, okay, I am the type to call my mom. Hey, mom, what should I do? Should eat garlic and drink water and stay in the bed. You know,
Robitussin.
feed some soup, Robitussin. Yep. So that's because I got the sniffles, right? But if it's
Yeah.
something more serious, then
Hmm.
I'm gonna take that to to my mother. But I'm sorry, to the doctor. But the reality is, like, we are gonna still encounter things, no matter how hard we work to stay positive. We're gonna encounter things. And sometimes we got to be like, it is what it is.
Yes. Yes.
This is not the outcome I wanted, but it's quite likely that this is the outcome that was going to happen no matter what I did.
Absolutely.
And what can I do about this outcome? I can do something about me in this outcome. I
Absolutely.
was trying to get, I'm in Columbus, Georgia, and I was trying to get to, Raleigh, North Carolina, and somehow I ended up in Greensboro. Okay, well, I'm in Greensboro. I didn't want to be in Greensboro. Can I still get to Raleigh? Yeah, I just got to figure out another way to get there.
Oh,
So or I can sulk and say, "Oh man, why am I all the way out here? I'm in Greensboro. This is not even close to where I was trying to be." That's not going to get me where I need to be. I need to consciously say, "Okay, understood. I spent a lot of gas going in the wrong direction, but where I am right now is not where I want to be. What can I do to get to where I want to be?"
but throughout that, you're embracing the journey. You are learning through the journey. This journey is
Absolutely. Good point.
teaching me something. I'm learning how to deal with certain obstacles and certain things in life. When you want to change something, it starts with you. Ultimately, it starts with the
Yes.
person, that individual. You have to have the wherewithal to say, I need to get this help. I need to actively seek help. I need to put the work in to change what's going on in my life. I need to be the person to enforce the change. We have to acknowledge that we go through different seasons in life, much like the earth, right? The earth has four different seasons, and every season brings a new challenge to the earth. And the earth constantly and consistently adapts and changes. We have to know that
Yep.
too. We're all going to go through seasons in life. What you have to understand is that season changes. The season changes. Every year is 3 months to a season. Look at life the same way. What you're going through right now, learn from it, adapt to it, and prepare yourself for the next season. Even with the storm, when you're going through a storm, the storm's not going to last forever. At some point, you're going to come out of that storm. right? What do I need to do to get out of the storm? And honestly, all you can do is really just take one day at a time and put your best foot forward and keep moving. That's all you can do, man. So yeah,
Yep,
that was a great book.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how we eat a steak, right? You eat a steak the same way you eat an elephant, right? You just take one bite at a time.
one bite.
And I was thinking about like this starts with, when you were saying I need to do this, I need to do that. There's a statement that will follow. I need to, right? I need to go get groceries, or I need to go pick up my prescriptions. That's that's consciously identifying what you need to do. The
Yes,
next statement for each of those is, I will do it.
yes,
Even better if you say I'm in the process of doing it,
yes,
right? That is where you program your subconscious each time you keep doing those things to the affirmative, and that's how you program that subconscious. You know how powerful. I always liked this. This is how powerful the subconscious is. We talked about this a while ago. The human brain does not create faces in its dream, right? I might have a dream with thousands of people in my dream. Every one of those faces in that dream is a face I've seen before. We don't make up faces in our dream.
no, it's yep,
It's a face you've seen before. Now, you may not remember your dream, or you may not
yes,
remember that face, but it will be a face you saw before,
yes,
whether it's on TV or in person, in a magazine or something like that. So it's going to be something you saw before. So the same thing is true, when you're manifesting something in your dream. Like, there isn't really anything that you do in your dream that you haven't done. The most awesome dream I used to have was going to the moon. I don't know why. I never, like in real life, thought about why it would be so dope to go to the moon. I mean, I'm kind of a nerd in the aspect of like I like the cosmos,
yeah,
but I never thought I want to go to the moon. But in my dream, I was going to the moon, and it was really like probably it's definitely one of my most exciting dreams as a kid.
yeah,
I'm like, oh, okay, there's a spacecraft, and I'm up in and it's nothing up there. Like the moon, like it's boring.
yeah,
When I get up there, it's just me and whoever I was in the shuttle with, back back when the U.S. had space shuttles. But it was something that I don't know if I really desired it as much, but it wasn't anything that I just made up. It wasn't anything abstract, like, because we don't make we the subconscious doesn't create something, right? The subconscious just repeats something that we already experienced.
yes,
So I'm always trying to think about good, positive things. When I came back from Iraq, the nightmares that I used to have
yes,
were always exaggerated versions of a real scenario.
yes,
And I've told you this before. I'll say it for the podcast, and I'll just kind of keep it, short and simple.
yeah,
I remember one time I was in joint. At the time, it was called LSA Anaconda, Logistics Support Area Anaconda. It was north of Baghdad, and at the time we were actually receiving indirect fire, so there were mortars coming in to the base, and I ran into a bunker, and I sat in the bunker for a few minutes as the sirens were going off, and I could hear some of the mortars hitting the ground and exploding and everything. And this was probably about, I don't know, a minute or two. Of course, it felt like it was like 6 minutes or 6 hours, but it was just a couple of minutes. And then when it was over, we got all clear, and we just kind of went on about our day, our respective days. And when I came back, I used to dream about that all the time. Each time I would dream about it, I dreamt that the bunker had a sunroof, and I could actually see the incoming fire, the mortars.
yeah.
And then I would have a dream about it again. And this time the mortar actually hits my bunker, and it just continued to get worse. So I
Worse and
actually
worse.
asked my,
Yes,
yeah, I asked my provider, I'm like, what is this all about? She said, hey, look, there's two things to think of. The first school of thought is, you know, your brain is looking at a scary movie and it wants to make it less scary. So it just keeps playing it over and over again.
yes,
And if you look at a scary movie, after a while, it's not that scary, right? I know how this part ends. I know this is where people normally jump, and et cetera, et cetera. Right. So that's one school of thought. So the school of thought is it's happening over and over again because you're trying to make it not scary anymore, right? So I'm saying I'm not going to be scared. I'm not going to be scared. I'm not going to be scared. You know, instead of, and again, I was talking about the human subconscious does not like negative, right? It will just continue to make me scared. I'm not going to be scared of this dream. I'm not going to, and I'll be scared, right? But the other school of thought is, she said, you are the author of that dream. You have to
yes,
remember that. It's being written by you. It's not that, something injected in your brain. literally like Matrix. This is just a scenario that you are writing as you're asleep. So stop writing that. Oh, that's great, Doc. You're going to tell me stop writing a dream in the middle of the dream. No, what she was saying was stop thinking those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get these off your chest. Let's start to think about the positive things. I took medication for 2 years because of those nightmares. And after a while, I started to saturate myself with positive thoughts, mostly cartoons. I love cartoons.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not talking about like just like Rick and Morty cartoons, man. I'm legitimately talking about like kid cartoons. I've watched, The Amazing World of Gumball and all those kids, and I
Yeah.
don't watch them by myself.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
watch all the positive and funny stuff. And then after a while, the nightmares just started to subside
Yes.
because what I was doing was saturating myself with those positive thoughts in the daytime.
Yes.
And so when I get angry or frustrated or upset or something like that, I can manage.
Yes.
I can actually just determine which direction of travel I want to go in, and just stay composed. And so that's, to me, it's a side effect of being able to think positive and stay positive as much as you can. Everyone's human.
Yes.
As much as you can, think and stay positive.
That's the beauty of understanding it. The beauty of control. You've been able to control your situation. When you learn what your situation is, you learn how to deal with it. Something powerful you said, man, was you sought therapy. You spoke to your provider. Your provider helped you identify what was going on. And then you did the work to
Yes.
improve upon your mental state. And that's power,
Yes.
man. That's what we all need to learn. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not an easy journey, but it can be done, and it has to be done in order for us to have the quality of life we desire as men, as people, as human beings. Listening to you talk about the dreams you had and the things you went through. Let me ask you this, and I didn't want to cut you off during your statement or your answer rather. When you say that you were on the meds and then you changed the way you thought and your dreams they subsided and then they eventually went away. Do you think it was the medicine you were placed on, or do you think it was genuinely your train of thought, your new thinking pattern?
It was absolutely unequivocally my thinking pattern. The
Yes.
medicine is basically a blood pressure medication that just stops your adrenaline from spiking. You could still have a nightmare on that medicine. You can still have a nightmare, and all it does is just it won't make it as bad or as frightening a nightmare because your adrenaline's not pumping as high. So it just kind of takes a little bit of the edge off of the dream. So when I was taking the medication, I took it for 2 years. So I mean, if I took it one day and it stopped, then I'm like, okay, great. But I took it for 2 years because I had to continue the process of healing,
Yes.
right? So the medication, all it did was just stop my adrenaline from spiking. I would still have nightmares when I was on the medication. They just wouldn't be like as terrifying. And
Yes.
then as time went on and my brain started to move and shift towards positive stuff, I'm like, oh, I don't need this stuff anymore, right?
Absolutely.
I'm having good, awesome, positive dreams, right? Or I just wouldn't have a dream at all, or at least not one that I would remember.
Yes.
If it was a nightmare, I would remember it. So it was absolutely that was just, that was maybe a crutch, but it was not a prosthetic limb, and that was how I was able to get over it. Is when you have a crutch, you have to go through physical therapy. You have to continue walking in order to be able to stand on your own too again.
Yes. Yes. So let me tell you, I already knew the answer to your question. I just wanted to let the audience know that the process has been proven. The method has been proven. Everything you've spoken about has been tried and tested and it worked, right?
Yep.
So changing your thought process ultimately changes your subconscious. Again, that was great. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Hey, so thank you so much for coming on the show and being a part of this platform, Rob. Um, I am honored to have you here. I'm elated that you're my brother. Your perspective and your perception on this topic here alone is pure brilliance, man. I'm glad that you were able to come and help me talk about the topic of changing your subconscious. Again, thank you, man. Is there anything you want to share with the listeners out there, or anything you want to leave us with before we wrap this show up?
Well, I just wanted to kind of share one thing that I noticed that you do, and you talk about this in your other podcast too, man. I love it. How you talk about reading, man,
Yes.
and that's kind of an art that we've kind of gotten away from as kings is the just reading, reading that positive, reading something positive. Because when I read, I put myself in the book. So reading that good positive stuff is just another way to kind of sit down, sort of meditate. And I want to encourage brothers to do the same thing that you do and get in a book, make it a good positive book, and enjoy just some moments of just you
Yes.
in that book. Man, my brother, it is my genuine privilege to have been able to have the time to just share with your listeners, to share with you, man. It is always such an honor to be able to just sit down and rap with you, man. And that's what I mean, that's all we did today was just kind of rap a little bit more. And I mean, it's always a great conversation. And I'm really humbled to have had this opportunity, my brother.
Absolutely, man. Again, all thanks to you. I'm honored that you were able to do this, man. Hey, again, thank you so much. And we definitely will be doing this again. Hey, thanks, man.
You too, my brother.
Kings, as promised and as always, I would like to leave you with the resource. Today's resource is Psych Central. Psych Central is a website where you can read resources about mental health and well being. This is a place where you can go and understand what it is you're going through. In order to tackle what you're going through, you have to understand what you're going through. This website offers you insight on what you may be dealing with. It gives you real life testimonies on people who've gone through similar situations. This place also gives you an opportunity to find licensed therapists in your area or licensed therapists online. And as always, if you feel like you need immediate attention, seek emergency services. Or if you're looking for services in your area and you wish not to pursue the online therapy, I recommend you getting with your primary care physician and they can direct you in the right direction in order to get the proper care you desire. Kings, it is imperative that we take care of our mental health. Loving yourself on inside carries over to the outside. Power is love, Kings. Kings, we must love ourselves. Take care of yourself. After all, we're all kings. Fix your crown, King. You deserve it.